Whether it's for the environment or to save money, taking steps to be more eco-friendly can go a long way. This means being intentional about your daily activities in order to have a positive impact on current and future generations. I'm Sue Angel from GreenMatch, and in this video, we go through 21 actionable ideas that you can implement in order to start living in a more sustainable way. So, let's jump right in. The first category is related to your daily routine, from cleaning your home to shopping and everything in between. These ideas do not require any large upfront investments, but rather small changes you can do in your life by paying attention to your everyday habits. We've all been working hard to reduce the amount of single-use plastics in our home. But besides plastics, when it comes to your weekly scrub, have you considered the environmental impact of the cleaning chemicals themselves? A lot of mainstream cleaning products contain various ingredients that are harmful, such as detergents, preservatives, or foaming agents. These chemicals are not only bad for the environment, but they can be harmful to you as well. For example, studies have suggested a link between the use of cleaning products and poor lung function. The good news is that there are plenty of non-toxic alternatives that work just as well. Try switching to products that contain sustainably grown ingredients that do not deplete the ecosystem nor harm it when expelled back out. Just like cleaning products, regular hygiene products also contain various toxic ingredients that are washed down the drain and can end up in the ocean. Try to opt for non-synthetic ingredients when shopping for shampoo, conditioner, and cotton swabs. Use organic toothpaste and silk dental floss for brushing your teeth. And zero-waste shaving products like plant-based shaving soap and reusable razors. If you want to go one step further, you could go for options that come with minimum or no packaging. These include, for example, different types of soap and shampoo bars. These soap bars are often made from natural biodegradable ingredients. It means you can avoid any extra plastic ending up in the landfill. In 2018, Americans alone bought more than 70 billion plastic water bottles, according to the Container Recycling Institute. Of these, more than 50 billion bottles ended up in a landfill or incinerator. Thankfully to you and the environment, purchasing reusable water bottles has never been easier. Companies all over the world are launching eco-friendly water bottles that can be used over and over again. It takes up to 1,000 years for plastics to degrade in a landfill. Therefore, it comes as no surprise that reducing the use of single plastic straws was one of the earliest and more meaningful transitions that individuals and companies have made. Instead, you can invest in metal or bamboo straws that are reusable. It's not only better for the environment, but it's also a cost-effective solution. When at a bar or restaurant, you could also choose to forego the straw in the drink. A lot of trees are cut down in order to make toilet paper. It requires at least 17 trees and around 90,000 liters of water for a ton of toilet paper rolls. As the average person uses 100 rolls in a year, it becomes easily clear that these cannot be a sustainable habit in the long run. Instead, you could opt for toilet paper made out of bamboo. As bamboo grows 39 inches within a 24-hour period, toilet paper made out of bamboo is a much more sustainable option. However, toilet paper is not the only paper we use. To give an example, next time you buy wrapping paper for your gifts, consider repurposing old newspapers or magazines. The damaging effects of fast fashion on the environment are significant. In our very popular article in 2016, we showed that fast fashion was the second largest polluter in the world, only after the oil industry. Clothes are being produced only to be disposed of in billions to the landfill. These can take up to 200 years to decompose, especially with certain synthetic fibers such as polyester. When washing these garments, microfibers end up in the ocean and are ultimately ingested by animals. When buying new clothes, try to look for natural recyclable fibers and opt for long-lasting, high-quality garments from trustworthy brands. One easy way to reduce the emission of your daily activities at home is to switch your electricity contract to a renewable one. More and more electricity companies are offering contracts for solely renewably produced electricity. These options are often pricier than regular electricity contracts, but they assure that your electricity consumption will be covered by renewable energy, such as wind, hydro, or solar power. All things have an expiry date, whether they are water bottles, clothes, or other products that you use around the house. And while you cannot fully control whether or not the products you dispose of will end up recycled and reused, you can certainly purchase products that are biodegradable. These products dissolve due to the contact with bacteria and fungi, meaning that if they come in contact with nature, they won't cause any environmental harm as they will disappear from natural processes. Even better than buying biodegradable products is to cut down on buying things that are not necessary. The less things you buy and consume, the smaller negative impact you will cause on the environment. Before throwing out a product, try repairing or repurposing it. If neither is possible, then make sure you properly recycle it. Consider also buying second-hand products so that you can extend their lifespan and therefore reduce the need for new products to be manufactured unnecessary. Most of us spend more than 35 hours per week at work, so overlooking your choices during these hours is not an option if you want to live a truly eco-friendly lifestyle. These following tips will help you be more mindful of your environment during your entire workday. Depending on the location of your workplace, there are different ways to commute. While using the car may seem like the fastest and most convenient option, taking the train, metro, or bus is definitely the most environmentally friendly. Depending on your city's biking infrastructure, you could even ride a bicycle or an e-scooter to work. If your workplace location is inaccessible by public transport and too far away to bike, then you could consider carpooling with your co-workers. This way, you can limit the number of cars needed to get to the office. Printing out documents may not always be necessary. Try to work digitally whenever possible. For example, contracts can be sent and signed in a digital form. Software companies offer solutions that can replace services like fax or handwritten signatures. If you cannot avoid printing, try to always print double-sided and fit the needed documents to be as few papers as possible. Offices naturally require electricity to power their equipment and amenities. However, it's important to be aware of the energy consumption and be conscious of what is required. One way you can contribute to a greener office is by ensuring that you plug off electrical devices when you leave for the day. It takes 2 minutes to switch on and off every day, but it can have a meaningful impact on the annual energy consumption. If your workplace and the type of job allows it, you could include a few work-from-home days to your schedule. Working from home not only helps you cut down emissions by cutting off commuting altogether, but it can also help in reducing power consumption. And don't forget that less commuting also means improved air quality for your city. As airplane tickets are becoming more affordable, people are flying more often. However, there are negative aspects associated with frequent travel, such as pollution and damage to the local ecosystem. Therefore, in recent years, there has been an increasing trend to promoting sustainable travel and more eco-friendly holidays. These following tips will help you in that direction. When looking for accommodation abroad, it's important to look for places that are sustainable in their activities and businesses, like restaurants and attractions. This means that their premises need to adhere to strict criteria set by the Foundation for Environmental Education. As of today, Green Key is a voluntary eco-label awarded to around 3,200 hotels and other establishments in 65 countries. Green Key certification means that the accommodation respects local cultures and their traditions, takes care of the environment, treats its employees fair and equally, and more. We think it's wonderful that people want to learn more about traveling responsibly. That said, sustainable travel isn't just a trend, it really does require effort and a mindset shift. It also means you might need to pack a little differently than you may be used to. So avoid single-use travel-size packaging on products like shampoo and toothpaste. Instead, invest in a set of reusable travel containers that you can always refill as needed. While on a trip, try to purchase products that are safe for the environment, for example, opting for sunscreen that is not harmful for the ocean if you go for a swim. You could also plan ahead and reduce future plastic waste by bringing with you a set of reusable cutlery and an empty tote bag. This way, if you stop for a snack break or do some shopping, you don't need to use disposable plastic. When traveling, it is in general a good idea to try and follow the principle of leave no trace. This means following 7 simple principles that allow you to leave your visited location in the same condition as it was when you arrived there, minimizing your impact on the ecosystem. These include disposing of your waste properly, respecting the local wildlife, traveling and camping on durable surfaces, minimizing the effects of campfires, and leaving plants and other things in nature the way you found them. Even if electronic devices are in sleep or standby mode, they are still using some energy, either because they are plugged in, have a battery or LED status light that keeps them powered on. According to the Energy Saving Trust, each UK household spends around £50 to £86 a year to power up these appliances left in standby mode or not in use. So, before going on holiday, make sure to unplug your devices from the wall sockets in order to save electricity and money. There is a huge difference in how much CO2 a car, an airplane, or a train emits. Depending on the destination, it may be better to drive rather than to fly, especially if you have an electric or hybrid car. The most eco-friendly option often is the train. Especially in Europe, connections between cities are widely available and often also affordable, so flying might not be as necessary, even though it may be more time efficient. However, sometimes flying is simply the only viable option. In such cases, you can still take some steps to fly as consciously as possible. Since planes use most fuel when taking off and landing, try to book direct flights for longer destinations. According to the UN, booking a ticket in economy class can also help reduce emissions since space is more efficiently used in economy seats than in business or first class. These last 3 tips slightly differ from the previous examples. These require relatively large investments upfront, but they will bring long-term benefits to the environment and even savings to your wallet. Transportation accounted for 27% of the UK's greenhouse gas emissions in 2019. Diesel and petrol cars are one of the main culprits, emitting around 127 grams of CO2 per kilometre. In order to combat this, electric and hybrid cars are rising in popularity. Though electric cars have some emissions from their production and possibly from the electricity they consume, they produce on average 50% less CO2 during their lifetime compared to a traditional car. This makes them a far better choice for the environment. While their price point is still relatively high compared to regular cars, the EU has set emission standards starting from 2021. They mandate that newly sold cars are not allowed to produce more than 95 grams of CO2 per kilometre. This forces car manufacturers to invest in lower emission electric cars, making them more affordable and accessible to consumers. A significant way through which households can be more eco-friendly is to invest in a renewable energy source to cover their electricity needs or parts of it. Solar panels are an example of a renewable energy technology that uses the sun as a source of energy. We cover solar panels and their costs extensively in our other videos, which you can check right here. Other options for producing your own electricity include wind and hydropower, which could be more or less suitable for you depending on your location and weather conditions. Another way to make your home more eco-friendly is to go for a low-carbon solution for heating. As heating is often the single biggest source of emissions that an individual home emits, this can be an impactful change. Heat pumps are a great renewable heating option for both space heating and hot water needs, and we have videos dedicated to help you decide if they could be suitable for your house. Check them right here. Solar water heaters, on the other hand, are a great option for hot water needs alone, and biomass boilers can be a good option to replace old gas boilers. With that last point covered, we're all done. If you want to learn more about this topic, don't miss our guide at greenmatch.co.uk. We've placed a link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please do give us a like and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more green energy and sustainability related videos just like this. Digitally. Try to work digitally. Transportation accounted to 27% of UK's greenhouse gas emissions. Yes. These soap bars are often made from natural biodegradable ingredients. Biodegradable. Okay, all right.